Alright, two things I would like to ask. In my answering Judaism videos, I never really answer because I don't observe Judaism. Mostly my questions for Jews are questions. And if you've looked at my videos, you probably will see a very distinctive approach. My approach with Hebrew Israelites is very, I simply refute them in one regard. I don't really reprove. I can reprove Christians, but people who hate the Word of God and they distort it, I'm not interested in reproving them or even strengthening them. I just tell them they're wrong. So you see my approach is with them that way. And then the videos with answering Christianity, it's over and over. It's just me showing, this is what I see. This is what I was taught. Have you considered these things? Look at it this way. I'm not saying you need to believe how I believe, but just have you considered this? Have you considered that? And then the answering Judaism, it's primarily me just asking Jews. Because, see, here's the thing with me. It's not about Christians. It's not about Jews. I don't look at you per se. I love them both equally. Why? Because it's not about you as individuals. It's about the God behind the things. And if God says, this is what he's going to do with Israel, and this is what's going to happen with Israel in the last days, I believe what God says. I'm not worrying too much about whether or not the Jew is righteous, or if they're hypocritical, or if they're blind. I'm not worrying about that. I just focus on the fact that this is God's promise. He said this is what's going to happen. So that's why I do what I do. So when I do the answering Judaism videos, it's really just similar to the answering Christianity ones. It's just to promote thought. Get you to ask yourself some questions. It's not for me. It's not for my salvation. So anyway, this particular video, I'm only really going to focus on two things. Because I'm curious. First is, why do you think that you and Islam are sister faiths? Why do you think that Allah is God? And I heard this from some of your rabbis. If you are a true descendant of Jacob, some of you aren't, but if you are, your forefathers utterly rejected Muhammad. They rejected his writing, and they rejected his God. So why are you calling them, a sister faith? The world does. The world says, hey, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, they're sister faiths. No, we're not. We are not. Okay, I'll tell you as a Christian. Christianity started with Jews. It was considered a sect of Judaism initially. Started with the Jews. You may have forgotten that, or you may not want to believe that, but that's the historical fact of Christianity. Jesus was a Jew. The disciples were a Jew. The vast majority of apostles were Jews. Jews converted by the thousands and the thousands. I dealt with that in the other video. But Islam, I even heard, and this is what aggravates me with some of your rabbis, like Rabbi Singer. He called the Arabs my dear cousins. I'm talking about Muslims, really. But my dear cousins. He's never said that his dear brothers when it comes to Christianity. Christianity started with Jews. But your dear cousins, Ishmael, who persecutes Isaac, Esau, who married into Ishmael's lineage, Ishmael persecutes Isaac, Esau hates Jacob, but they're your dear cousins? Something's not right with that picture. So really just want to know, why do you think, because you have religious oblations, sacraments, rituals, feasts, ceremonies? So what? Pagan religions have that too. Anyway, battery's going to die because I'm in the red. Second question. Hopefully this won't cut out on me. Second question is, I want the temple to be rebuilt as well because that's part of prophecy. But are you so keen and so in love with your temple, but you've forgotten the God of whom the temple belongs? Do you seek God as much as you seek your temple? And also, for I guess you conservatives and non-religious Jews and Jews living in Israel, if ever any of you actually see this video, do you understand what it means when the temple is rebuilt and the Sanhedrin is in power? Because the law will then be enforced. And if you think the Muslim Sharia law is bad, well, it's the same thing with the Jewish law, the law of Moses. You do certain things, you violate certain laws, it demands your death. So you may look at, okay, this is a national heritage, we're going to have the temple back, but do you understand what that really means? How when the law will be imputed? Something to think about. Do you know what you're asking for? 2 questions. Hopefully somebody can maybe answer them. I'll talk to you soon.